Hello and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Now, if you watched the previous video, which was featuring the DA20 by CraftySimulations, I nearly forgot the name of the company then, you'll notice at the end of the video I said I was bringing back a warbird. Now, this channel, first and foremost, features general aviation aircraft. The aircraft of which you see before you, most definitely not a general aviation aircraft. This is the GotFriends F4F Wildcat, World War II naval fighter. Now, this aircraft has featured before in a very early video on the channel, and I've flown it. Of all the warbirds, I do fly warbirds when I'm not doing content creation, and I must admit, obviously the Flying Iron Spitfire is probably up there being one of the best, if not the best. But this sounds are great, looks are great, and she is a very, very good aircraft. A little bit tricky, like a warbird should be, but a good aircraft nevertheless. So I thought I'm going to bring this aircraft back. I'm going to bring back a warbird onto the channel, and it is going to be the Wildcat. Don't see too much content around it these days. Like I said, this is GotFriends' version of the F4F. It's the only F4F, I do believe, in the sim, and it is a stonking beauty as far as a big but ugly navalized warbird can be, but she's a beauty. Everything on this aircraft, I mean, even when you get down looking into the engine, it looks dark, but there's depth to it. There's creation has gone into this. Let's get rid of the shocks. But yeah, it looks absolutely awesome, and she is a joy to fly. I've seen these fly at Duxford, Imperial War Museum, Duxford's Flying Legends air shows of the past. I can't remember if there's still an F4F flying in the UK, or on the display circuit. It's been a while since I've been to a warbird air show. But yeah, she's but ugly, but she'd be beautiful. Lends itself from the early pre-war design theory and design thoughts when it comes to navalized fighters. You know, this was the first of the main fighters that the US Navy went to war with. It wasn't good. It was a step up on the biplane of which it took over from. I'm struggling to remember, was it the F2F, I think? But it wasn't really until the Wildcat came along, and I'm going to get this order wrong now, but the Wildcat was then replaced by the Hellcat, which was then replaced by the Bearcat, and the Tiger Cat was somewhere in there as well. Corsair was obviously in there as well, but this is the early generations of navalized thinking, and it's when you look at the Bearcat, which was entering service into the Korean War, still designed by the great Grumman design team, just night and day compared to, from the Wildcat to the Bearcat. But anyway, like I said, this is not going to be a review video so much, excuse me, on the F4F. I've already done that. We are still at Martha's Vineyard, and we're going to take this warbird and put her through her paces in only the way that I know how. So let's get everything set up. So I'll turn TrackIR on, get that centralized a little better, because that doesn't work for me. If I remember correctly, yeah, we have to have the view up a bit high. So first of all, we are going to open up the cowl flaps. As you can see, that's them opening up at the front. So they're open. So chocks are cleared. Mixture is full. Hey, TrackIR's having a hissy fit. And in fact, I'm going to turn that off in a minute because I need to get to this. Set to, we're going to start off the main tank. Blah, 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 blah. Just running through everything. Mags. Set to both. Prop pitch is fine. Throttle is cocked. We'll give her some squirts. Starters on. Battery is coming on. Generator is on. Just running through all the bits and pieces. Right, I'm probably going to get the audio wrong on this because this be a loud aircraft. Oh, she's a beauty when it comes to sounds. So let's turn that back on like that. So we're going to assume we're clear on the left and right. We would have a ground crew standing with us at the moment. We seem to be blocked with our wing arrangement. Actually, before I start the aircraft, I'll actually just say warbirds after this, like the Hellcat and the Bearcat, still had the ability to fold their wings. I think the Tiger Cat could even fold its wings. They've unfolded them themselves. They were electrically powered. The Wildcat does not have that luxury. So we have, I don't know whether you can see them, there are lines connected to the fuselage, and the ground crew will come along, unconnect them, and actually walk the wing out. So there is no electrical aid. We have this thing here, so this is the option we're looking for here, the unfold wings. So we'll get rid of that for the time being. So anyway, mags are checked, throttle is set, prop pitch is set, mixture is set, battery is on, clear on the left, clear on the right, clear as best we can tell from the front. So let's bring the mighty Pratt & Whitney engine up and to life. Note to self, always put the brakes on. So we'll just check the audio. So we shall now be selecting our wings open. So I'll open this up, click the tab, get rid of that, and the wings would be walked out by the ground crew. Locked on the left, locked on the right. We'll stay in the local area, so don't have to worry about altimeter. She sounds beautiful. And as well, we can just see heat coming out of the exhaust stacks. You know the developers were onto something when they put a good heat effect onto it. So flaps on this aircraft, flap lever is back down here. Now as we extend the flaps, you'll just see this tab starting to show, and there's one on the other side as well, and that shows the pilot that the flaps are deploying to their set position. So when these stop moving, so set, and as you can see, we can't see the flaps are actually underneath the wings. Like so. So we're not going to worry about flaps today, we've got plenty of runway space. So let's have less of me prattling on, and let's see if I can still remember how to fly this amazing classic warbird. So we do have a steerable tail. I don't know if the wheel Wildcat had a steerable tail or whether it was just a casting wheel, but on the flight sim we do have a little bit of tail steering, but we do have to have differential brakes, which I've mapped to my Thrustmaster stick. So unlike most warbirds that have a terrible view, the Wildcat actually isn't too bad. Obviously most tail draggers do struggle when they're on the ground due to the fact of the nose is pointing in the air, but we've got good view. Obviously we're a bit difficult if somebody was taxiing in front of us, but we know where we're going. So as I said at the start of this video, this aircraft is a very old warbird, and it shows in the undercarriage lever, which is this wheel here. Now the pilot traditionally has his hands on the stick and the throttle during takeoff, but also has to reach over with his flying hand to operate the crank here and basically crank that lever 20-something times, I think it is, to retract the undercarriage, which I think is quite fascinating. It's quite difficult. So we'll shut the canopy up. If TrackIR can actually behave just once in a while. This is a very tricky... Oh, come on, TrackIR, play ball. Always found that to be a difficult thing on this aircraft. So anyway, mixture is set, plot pitch is set, throttle is set, flaps are going to be retracted for takeoff. Let's see, everything else seems to be happy. Cow flaps are open. Departing runway 24, we'll go into a left-hand departure. Quite a steep takeoff because we want to keep the airspeed down while we crank up the handle, and then we'll go straight into a display. So that's all we're going to be doing today. We're just going to be kicking back and relaxing in this classic warbird. Let's see if I can still remember how to fly it, and more to the point, how to land it. So, everything's set. Let's go. Airborne. Gear retracting. Gear up. We're just going to settle ourselves down. Retrim the aircraft out. We'll start our display from 2.4. So this will be the part where I start to shut up and see if I can still remember how to fly this aircraft aerobatically. we go. Displayed the F4F Wildcat. Could have done better. But not a bad display. So now we're going to start to think about bringing this aircraft into land. And that's where the fun begins. Most difficult part of any flight, always the landing. So we'll put our goat gear down now. Because we're taking forever to come down. I will open our canopy like you would. Not a bad landing, if I do say so myself. Always at the startup, and the startup's brilliant. The rundown is not that good. So anyway, generators off, batteries off. Parking brake should have been released, and it has. So there you go. F4F Wildcat even by GotFriends. Absolutely amazing warbird. I actually want to fly this aircraft more and more. It's fantastic. So let me know if you want to see us trying to work out a little display routine for an F4F Wildcat. Something like what you've just seen now. We'll try and make it a little more realistic. I'll start to do a little bit more research into real F4F displays. Obviously, we're not taking away from the general aviation. This will be just like a side project for CraftySimulations. So yeah, I think it's a rather unique looking warbird. Obviously Spitfire is definitely up there. The Flying Iron Spitfire, the Flying Iron Messerschmitt 109. I'm sure their FW190, when that gets released, will be fantastic. But the Wildcat here by GotFriends is absolutely fantastic. So, if you've got any questions or comments or any suggestions for the display, please let me know. And I will see you guys and girls in a future Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 video very, very soon.